this how I sit?
I feel weird when I sit.
I do too, but I'm like...
I feel like I'm just like a hobbit. Or like a turtle.
But I don't know, like if I do like back here, I'd be like, what's up, y'all? Today we're talking about... You can't do that. But if I do like this, then it's like...
You're really aggressive.
Hello! Today we're talking about art! You can't do that. So, like, how do you sit?
Like that.
Oh, that's good.
You're listening to Articulate with your hosts, Kevin Kramer and Sean Gillespie, your go-to guys for art tips, techniques, and general artist ramblings. Presented by drawingandcoloring.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to Articulate. Look at the camera up top. And this is the show where we talk about everything art. I'm Kevin Kramer.
I'm Sean Gillespie.
And today's topic...
Everybody wants a piece.
That's right.
Everybody wants a piece of this.
Everybody wants something.
They do, man. As
free.
An artist.
For free.
And we're talking, artists talking to artists. That's what this show is all about.
Artist to artist.
Artist to artists.
And
no matter what kind of art you're in,
show name
it doesn't
was
have to be in painting. What's that?
That show name was taken already.
Oh, it was? Artist to artist?
I just meant that.
All right.
I'm sure it is.
But anyway,
yes.
But as an artist, and you've probably found this, whether you're a photographer or videographer, no matter what you do, you find everybody wants a piece.
Can you do this for me?
Can you do this? It'll just be real quick.
It's just like five hours worth of work.
I just need you to edit this video for me. You're good at this stuff. You're good. It'll be good for your portfolio.
You know it.
It'll look good for your portfolio, please.
It's for your grandma.
I'll be your best friend. It's my birthday.
It's for your grandma.
That's a new one that started happening to me.
It's my birthday.
Can you do it for me? We'll count this as
birthday.
my birthday gift.
You don't even have to give me a Christmas present.
Yep, that's happened to me. You don't have to give me the Christmas present.
How about you?
It's my honey-do list. You had that?
Just give me some money.
I've even actually, though, had the, let's create our own Christmas where you give them the painting and they give you, a macaroni statue or whatever they make. That is not the way to go. No. Buy things. Way quicker.
Has to be equal trade.
way quicker just to buy the gift.
Can't do 5 hours of work for a macaroni statue.
But the point is as an artist, you do get people trying to get you to do them favors and to help them out and things like that. And a lot of times that can get in the way of your work.
Yeah.
So what do you do to prevent that?
You say no.
Do you say no? I have trouble saying no. Because I'm a nice guy.
You have to put up some kind of limit.
How do you do that, though? How do you set up that limit? Because I'm not good at this.
You have to know your limit.
Yeah, I'm always doing things for people. I'm like, oh, yeah, you need me to paint your barn? Yeah, totally. I do murals. But red is nice. Red would be a nice mural.
Just all over?
I'm bad about this. I'm bad at saying no. But you have to, man.
Yeah.
You have to. Like, for example, my uncle. About 3 weeks ago, he's like, yeah, I want to get your Aunt Shirley a chair for Christmas. I really hope they don't watch this show because, spoiler alert, he was trying to get you this for Christmas. Ooh. But he wanted to get you this chair that was that had Tabasco things on it because we're from Louisiana and people in Louisiana are obsessed with Tabasco.
It's true.
Right? And I'm like, well, I pull up the webpage, Tabasco.com, and they've got one. Exactly what he's looking for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's like $280.
For the chair?
For the chair, right? But it's like painted and it's a beautiful chair. It's like,
Does it look like the bottle?
It's like, it looks like the bottle. It's got the big Tabasco logo, but it's painted yellow and Mardi Gras colors and it's very Louisiana.
Right.
It's a pretty chair. And you can tell that it was hand painted and all this. And he wants me to do it. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And he's like, well, I can't find the right chair. I've spent months. And I'm like, okay, well, and he's like, maybe you should just go and find the chair for me.
Oh, really?
Right. And so now,
tack on another one.
Right. So now I have to go chair shopping, get the chair, and I start kind of investigating painting furniture because I've never really done that before. As to say, I paint murals. That's a whole nother ballgame. You can't just use water-based paint. You got to use an enamel. So that means I got to get new brushes because I don't want to mess up my regular paint brushes with an oil-based paint and paint thinner. And then you have to get a clear coat and put on it. And by the time I factor all this in, that $280 chair online is a bargain.
Right.
And so I tell him that. And he's like, yeah, but we want it by you. Which is sweet, right? That's sweet.
It's personal.
Right, it's sweet.
It's a touch.
But I don't do that. If you wanted something by me, you would want a painting or something that's by me.
Right.
But that's not what you want. You want something for you. That's what you want.
I just happen to be able to do that.
Right, and you want it cheap. That's what you're using me.
Right.
right?
That's why you got to be able to say no.
But I don't like to say no to the people, even when I know that. So how do you do that, Kevin? Give me an instance when somebody has asked you for something and you said no. Because what I did in this case is I was like, oh, I'm just very busy now. I'll try to get to it. And then I never called him again. And Christmas came and he didn't have a chair.
That's one way to do it.
It was a passive aggressive. It was a shitty way to go about it.
That's one way to do it.
It was not good. But I kept meaning to call. I just never got around to it.
I can't think of anything specifically, but I can say if you know your limits or if you have a projects and stuff you're already working on, you know you're not going to be able to give that your full attention. You just need to tell them that.
One thing I've found that helps is transparency between you and your family. All right, so I don't like talking about the art projects I'm working on. I know that's kind of weird talking to you guys about it, considering that this entire show is about art projects, and we often talk about projects that I'm working on.
True.
But I actually don't enjoy, like, I need that inside my head. Because once it's out and I'm explaining it, then there's no point in me really creating it because it's already out. So I need that inside of me. So I don't like...
This is your art medium.
Yeah, see, I don't really tell you guys what I'm working on either, currently. So, because I need that. I need that in here. So, but one thing I've started doing, and it's really helped with the books coming out, is that I'm like, oh, I'm working on a new book. So and then they're like, oh, okay, he's got this that he's working on. Now I'm telling them a little bit more about what I'm working on, and they know that I'm not just sitting here being like, what am I going to do today? Thinking about art. That's all.
You have things that you're doing.
Right.
You don't legitimately have time to work on that.
Right.
And give it your full attention.
Right. And so, yeah, and then it kind of hurts their feelings when you tell them that. But a lot of times, too, is the compromise.
Right.
Yeah, which is, another way of saying everybody loses. but you can be like, well, I won't do that chair for you, but I'm happy to do a Tabasco painting, and you can buy that chair online, and they'll go together, and one's from me. Right? Which is what I'm going to email him back at and say, hey, I'll do that.
Hopefully.
Because that'll take me a couple of hours versus all this time and all this project cleaning out the garage. That other is a big
hunting
thing.
for
furniture. Hunting for furniture, all this other stuff. No. Nobody got time for that.
No, that's not what you do.
It's not what I do.
It's not what you do.
The shadow don't do that.
You need to say that's not what I do.
That's not what I do.
I could do it.
I need to say, hey, I got some listeners on here who would do that.
Right.
And y'all need to email me.
There you go. That's a referral to someone else.
Just put it on Fiverr.
There you go. Fiverr.com.
Yeah, outsource it.
Outsource your...
Tell them you're working on it.
Your chair paint.
And then hire somebody else to do it. That's the way to do it.
And have them ship it to you.
Right.
And then ship it out.
But yeah, it is hard. It is hard to tell family, but you do have to. You have to tell them no that you're working on your stuff. Otherwise, you're never going to get ahead.
You have to put a boundary up.
Right, because you get to a point where you're no longer needing to buff up your portfolio. If you're in this phase where you're buffing up your portfolio, then you're good. Go ahead and take those projects, but just make sure that they're projects that are going to enhance your portfolio and not
relevant.
Yeah, because obviously a Tabasco chair would not buff up the Shawno's portfolio.
Right. Or stain in a table.
Right, stain in a table.
Just
painting
stain
a barn.
it for me. It's going to take a weekend.
Right. I can't tell you how many people have asked me to paint their house or paint, just because, oh, you know how to paint.
You have all the tools for big painting, right?
I'm like, totally do not want me to paint your house because I'm going to be like, I'm going to start off and I'm going to be like, yeah, it's going to be blue. But what if I put a little purple on there? Right. Oh, what about this? And then they come home and they're like, what have you done? And I'm like, I have made it awesome.
It looks amazing now.
It was awesome.
If you wanted it one color, you should have hired a professional.
Yeah, if you wanted it boring, then you shouldn't have hired this guy. That's what I say.
That's one way
and then
to
you
do
say,
it.
you get what you paid for.
Yeah.
You want free work? This is what you get. And then you throw the paintbrush and you walk out.
And then you never talk to them again.
You never ever talk to them. And then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
That works.
That does work. I've lost some friends from not doing art projects for them for free.
I think what it comes down to is if there is an equal exchange of value for your services.
They have to give you something.
For your services. I don't know what that means. But
yeah, trade.
An equal exchange of value, whether it's money or trade or something.
Right.
And it makes sense for you to do.
Sure, I'll do that painting for you, but this means I'm not going to your funeral. Something like that.
Compromise.
I'm like, sure, I'll do this for you, but you have to mow my lawn for the rest of your life.
Or go do my grocery shopping.
Oh man, I hate grocery shopping. I would totally do a lot of things for somebody to do my grocery shopping. Why don't they deliver?
They do.
They do?
Yeah.
Man.
There's a bunch of things.
I need to sign up for that because I hate grocery shopping.
Whole Foods delivers.
Really?
Farmers Market, they deliver to your door.
What?
Yeah.
Huh.
You get on that.
I am going to get on that because I hate leaving the house. Ever. So, all right. So what are some other ways that you can tell them no? Well, another way is to let them down. But obviously the key here is it's easy to tell people no, but it's hard to tell people no and still have them like you.
Right.
So how do you do that, Kevin?
You just be transparent. Like you said, if you're
working on something, let them know. Oh, I can't. I'm working on this. Or just come up with like an exaggerated date. I sometimes do that. I'm like, well, I can do that, but it's going to be...
It's going to be at least 14 weeks before I can get to that.
It's going to be about 3 years.
Before I can even touch
I like to kick it way up there. I'm like, I can do that, but I've got a 3-year backlog.
Ooh. I have so much work that I'm working on right now that I cannot even fathom.
Oh, yeah.
Get into that.
And with Google Calendars, I used to have this set up on my webpage too, where you could see, back when I was busier, I had Google Calendars, and I would have like these red bars on the weeks where I was too busy, like where I had murals or something, and I was booked, and I would just like book all these red bars on my calendar, and people were like, oh man, he's busy. So there was that level of transparency. But then I stopped getting as many murals, and they're like, hey, how about you do this? And I'm like, no, I don't want to. And also, you can just pretend like you don't get the phone calls. Sometimes I do that.
That is more passive-aggressive ways to do it.
I'm a little passive.
This is the passive-aggressive show of how to avoid work you don't want to do.
How to avoid work. That's what this is
How to avoid the work. I think if you legitimately don't have the time to do it, you should just say it.
Right.
And that, whether they like you or not, that's up to them. That's not your fault.
That's not your fault.
They're asking for something that they're not...
But they don't see it that way.
They're not ready to even exchange value with you, then why are you even doing it?
What's weird about that is that I feel like this is unique to art. But I feel like in other professions, like if you're... Well, that's not true. Doctors are always getting hit up for free doctor advice and free
I call
things
the vet
like that.
all the time on the phone. It's like, I got something wrong with my cat's eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, just go ahead and do this. Oh, okay, great.
My friend's an attorney. I'm always asking him legal questions.
It happens.
People get hit up for free stuff, but theirs is like real quick, just a question. With art, it's like,
it's an investment.
Can you spend a week or two doing this?
Exactly.
And that's where it kind of becomes a weird, like, you don't really understand. You have to make them see your perspective, and that's the other thing you can do.
It's not just advice at that point.
Right.
It's an entire process.
Right. They're not asking how to do their art project.
Right.
I'd sit there and tell people that 20 minutes every week.
Exactly. That's different. But
wait a second, that's a reference to the show. But so
if you want to have somebody make something, that is a totally different.
That's a totally different thing.
request.
And the point is you do have to tell them no. People, I know it's hard. I know it's not easy. I don't like doing it, but you have to because you need to work on your artwork. All right, you need to work on for you. You don't need to be working for grandma and her chair, whatever. You need to be doing for you. So you got to tell them no, folks. You got to find a good way to do it, a way that works for you, a way that won't hurt them or break their heart, that makes them understand. But you do.
I think
have to
if
tell
you
them no.
are really clear about it, they'll understand eventually.
Hopefully.
Otherwise, then
I definitely have like acquaintances, not friends. My good friends, they stayed my friends even after I told them no. Because I had a friend who wanted me to paint
DuckTales?
No. What are the decoys? Wanted me to paint duck decoys because he's a duck hunter. And I was like,
that's not my area.
I'm not going to do that.
That's not my area.
I'm going to be honest with you. And he's a good friend, so we stayed good friends. Even though I'm like, I'm not doing that.
I mean, the people that are asking you for personal things for free, they should know you enough to know whether it's in your realm of
and a lot of them too.
Whatever you do anyway.
And if you know the person is kind of a flake, you can go ahead and tell them yes, and then just hope that they never come through with it. That happens a lot too.
That's true.
Yeah. So sometimes that's a win-win.
There's a lot of ins and outs.
A lot of what have yous.
And a lot of passive-aggressive ways. Find the best one that works for you.
I tend to take the passive-aggressive approach. I'm very passive.
And I think that'll probably be the best way to do it.
Yeah. But anyway, point is, everybody wants a piece. You got to make sure that they don't get a piece of you.
A piece of
or a piece of the Shano.
Yeah.
So you got to be a no, tell them no, be a little assertive. It's easy to be a very passive person in the arts, but in this case, you do have to.
It takes time.
You have to be more assertive. Which is a bummer.
You need to get valued for your time. That's really.
You do. Your time is valuable. Your time is money.
And that goes into a whole nother thing of you valuing your own time.
Yeah. And that's a whole nother thing.
That is a whole podcast.
Your time is...
Your time's valuable.
Man. You've got like 30, 40 good years, and then it all goes downhill, man.
Make sure everyone respects that.
It's longer than that. It's probably like 50 or 60.
I would hope so.
I hope. Otherwise, I gotta go.
But I think that's a good place to end this one. If you have any ways that you found that work for saying no.
Saying no to... and plus... Send us some funny stories about this, because I know there are some funny things that people have asked y'all to do. Like I say, I've already been asked to do duck decoys. I've been asked to paint furniture. I've been asked to paint houses. I mean, I've been asked to paint all kinds of ridiculous things. So what are some good things people have asked you to photograph or paint or...
Donate.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah.
So, leave them in the comments below. Maybe we'll pick the best one and we'll put it on next week's.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, speaking of donate, man, ooh.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother thing.
But yeah, go ahead. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Probably over there somewhere.
It's like, I think it's over here.
Whatever.
It's on one of these sides.
It's on your side.
It used to be down here.
It's over there.
But,
and if you like us on Facebook,
like
follow
here.
us on Twitter, and we'll
see you.
See you next week. Bye.
You've been listening to Articulate with Kevin and Sean. Subscribe on iTunes or check them out on drawingandcoloring.com. Always reminding you to keep it simple.